What's going on, guys? I'm Alexandru Don, and today I'm gonna take you behind the scenes on a music video. So right now we are getting things ready. All the instruments are getting prepped up. We still need to put a little bit of lights. So my plan is to have two lighting setups, one that is very dark and one that is high key. And for that, I'm gonna put some lights on the balcony and I'm gonna mimic the sunlight coming into this area. So it's gonna look pretty cool. Moving forward to the next thing. So for the outside lights, I'm gonna use the Nanlite Forza 60B with a V-mount battery. And because we're using this projector lens, I'm gonna have a lot of control over the beam and where the light goes. And we're using V-mount batteries because we don't have access to power cables around there because it's a museum, so we're not allowed to make or to keep the windows open because the cold is gonna come in and ruin the paintings. So for that, I'm also gonna use the Nanlite Forza 500 with V-mount batteries as well. So it's gonna be pretty easy to manage the power consumption and all that because these lights run quite a lot on V-mount batteries, around 1 or 2 hours at maximum power output. So that's pretty cool. And now here is the scene where we're gonna have everything dimmed down. So basically I'm gonna shut down the lighting that comes through the window, and I'm gonna put some PavoTubes and a little bit of special effects in the background.
Alright, so to shoot this we use the DJI Ronin RS2 with Sony a7S III and a lens that is from Sony 35mm f1.8. But this wasn't our initial setup because firstly we shot with
the Zcam E2 F6, which is a 6K full frame camera, which is pretty cool. Not a lot of people know about this, but if you follow me on YouTube, you know by now that I use a lot this camera and the results are pretty amazing. For lenses, we're going with the DZO Bespit primes, and I'm mostly gonna shoot on a 25 because we want to see the whole beautiful place here. It's a museum and you don't get to shoot in a museum every day, so that's why we kind of use the space as an advantage to us. So that's why we're gonna use wide lenses. And regarding the format, we're gonna use the open gate function of the Zcam, which allows us to get even wider images, but with something like a 4:3 format. So looks pretty cool. It's something new, and I'm super excited on how it looks and how it turned out. So also for the monitor, I'm using the Porky HS7T, which is a 7-inch monitor, super solid. And it has a thing that I really like. You can mount your wireless connection here and it can power from your battery. So you're getting yourself a really simple and super minimal setup that has wireless built in and all that. So that's pretty cool. Let's go finish the lighting and then we're gonna do the first prep, and then we're gonna build things up to the point where we're gonna like things how they look.
So while I was making sure my gear is all set, Doreen, our director, was talking with the band, making plans. And talking about lighting, we used quite a lot of lights on this one. PavoTubes, mix panels, Forza 300Bs, a lot of PavoTubes again, more PavoTubes, and PavoTubes. And to be honest, we used a lot of lights on batteries for this shoot, and I was quite surprised that we managed to get through it without having loss of batteries. And when it came to making the look, we used quite a lot of haze, like a lot. Now, when it comes to doing the choreography for the whole music video, it was a little bit complicated. So first thing that I did was to make sure that my lighting was on point, was to make sure that everywhere I was going, the light was perfect and I couldn't see myself in the mirrors because there were a lot of mirrors in this place. And I wanted to make sure that I wasn't creating shadow on my actors' faces while I was moving through the set. So I did all the lighting accordingly, and then we started talking with the band to make the choreography and see exactly where I should be in the part of the song. So a lot of prep. You can even see that I used headphones on my ears, so I have the AirPods, which I was communicating with the director to make sure that I was doing the right thing that he wants. So things were going pretty nice. Here you can also see the Forza 500 mimicking the thunderstorm effect, so that was really nice to have it in the background. I feel like it was giving it a nice touch. So moving on to more prep. This was all about prep because we shot like 12 takes or 15 takes with the handheld camera, and then we decided to film with the gimbal as well, as I told you in the beginning, and that was the final shot that we picked. Not because we didn't like the handheld shots, but we thought that the gimbal was a little bit more suitable for the style of the music video. And now we end up to the last part of the music video where I show you how the handheld shoot went down and how the final edit of the handheld looks. So hope you enjoy, and if you find this behind the scenes helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment down below which version you like more, the handheld one or the gimbal one. So cheers.